All right, we're going to look at function transformations today. So I'm going to have you guys turn these three problems in at the beginning just to make sure that we're doing them right before we get kicked off. So we're going to look at these. Okay, so function transformations, what you're seeing is you're seeing it in the format of a, f, or it could be g or h or I or whatever of x that I had some on the other page. So it's a times the function rule, 1 over b x minus h plus k. So we still have all of our pieces. This is still going to vertically stretch or compress, or reflect us across the x-axis. This is still going to horizontally stretch or compress, or reflect me across the y-axis. This moves me left or right, and this moves me up and down. But what we're actually going to do is we're going to actually do the changes. So when we're trying to do the changes, there's a couple different things that we'll do. The first thing is just putting stuff in. So anything that happens to your x actually goes in the function. This goes in the function. That's why it's inside of the parentheses. Anything that happens to your y happens to the function. So this happens to the function. That's why it's outside of the parentheses. So if I have a rule that tells me f of x equals 9x plus 1, and then it tells me to do f of x minus 3, this part goes in wherever I had an x. So I'm going to do 9 times x minus 3. So I'm just replacing this x right here with x minus 3. Everything else on the function stays the same. So I would actually write this like this. And then I would simplify. So I would do 9 times x, 9 times negative 3, and then I would simplify by combining like terms. So that's what I would be looking at there. So that would be what f of x minus 3 equals. A little bit of a tougher problem would be something like g of x equals 3x minus 9 squared plus 2. And then it tells me to do something. Actually, I'm going to put another number here. I'm going to put a 2 right there. And then it tells me to do something like 4 times g of 1/2 x minus 3 plus 6. Okay, so first I'm going to do what's inside of the function. So I'm going to place that inside of the function. So I'm going to go 3 times 2 times, and I'm going to replace the x with what I have right here. 1/2 x minus 3. It's still minus 9, it's still squared, it's still plus 2. I'm going to simplify this guy out, so that's going to give me 3 times, that gives me x minus 6 minus 9. Gives me 3 times x minus 15 squared plus 2. So I did this portion right here. The next thing I need to do is I need to multiply this whole entire function by 4. And remember, in our order of operations, we do multiplication before addition. So I want to do this first. So I'm going to multiply this whole entire function, meaning if I took parentheses and put it like this and put a 4 here, I get 4 times 3 is 12. I can't distribute through the parentheses. Also, these are just being multiplied together. So if I multiplied the 4 inside anyways, that would be multiplying 4 twice, and I don't want to do that. 4 times 2 is 8. Now I'm going to do my addition. So I'm going to add 6 to the end of this guy. So all I'm going to do is plus 6 equals 12x minus 15 squared plus 14. So this is what 4g of 1/2 x minus 3 plus 6 equals. And that's how we're going to do this stuff. We will do a whole bunch of examples in class.